Welcome to round 2 of the 2005 Superside FIM Sidecar World Championship. And this weekend we've travelled to Eastern Europe and Hungary. Well, for round 2, the teams travel to the Hungaroring, the famous Formula 1 circuit here in Hungary. But after round 1 at Brands Hatch, the standings were Tim and Tristan Reeves leading the World Championship by a healthy 15 points from Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead. Jörg Steinhausen and Trevor Hopkinson third, just 2 points behind Webster. But this is a fantastic circuit here at the Hungaroring, 2.722 miles around. And by the wonders of modern technology, we've got Paul Woodhead passengering a lap with Jörg Steinhausen.
This is coming the right-hander coming off the start and finish straight. You can see the passengers trying to get as much weight on the back wheel as possible to get drive down this long start and finish straight. Down this straight you approach about 170, 175 miles an hour about now, and you're hard on the brakes again, moving over the back wheel, trying to get as much weight as possible on that back wheel so the driver can get as much traction as he can coming out of this right-hand corner. Slowly easing off the back wheel to stop wheel spin. This next corner is a real tight left-hand corner. It's really, at this point, really physical for the passengers. The driver's hard on the brakes. Round this left-hand corner. The next corner is a real fast manoeuvre into a right-hand corner. Again, trying to get as much weight as possible on the back wheel. Coming up this hill, there's a real fast left-hand corner at the top of this hill. Really physical for the passenger and the driver at this stage. Passenger trying to keep the weight on the sidecar wheel and then trying to move over fast for the next corner, which is a right-hand corner. Again, as much weight as possible on the back wheel and slightly further back this time so the driver gets a little bit more grip rather than front end grip. A slow right-left chicane. Into another tight left-hand corner, again where the passenger's trying to keep the sidecar wheel on the floor as much as possible. And as you can see around this Hungaroring, it is really physical. Lots of left-hand corners followed by right-hand corners. The passenger again moving forward. This time you get a little bit further forward this time because the bike suffers from understeer through that particular corner. So you don't want a lot of weight on the back wheel. Down the hill into a right-hand corner, and again really physical, really hard on the brakes. This next corner is on the left hand. As you can see, the passenger moves left to try and keep the wheel on the floor. You have to be really careful coming out of this corner about now. You'll see me move in a little bit just there. That's to try and stop the bike spinning sideways on the exit. And this is back onto the start and finish straight again to start another lap of the Hungaroring.
Well, the qualifying action here at Hungaroring took place in extremely hot conditions, track temperatures of around 50 degrees, making things really tricky for the driver and passenger and also for the tyre technicians. And of course, people not really willing to expend too much energy out on the track, trying to get a quick time in and then back into the pits. Number 10 there, the French team of Jean and Gregory Clues, back in to make some adjustments to their Barca racing machine. Pekka Piver into there talking with Jason Hazel from Yokohama. Just discussing setup there of the front wheel. And that's our championship leaders at the moment, Tim and Tristan Reeves. Well, they put in a stunning time around this circuit to qualify second position. But once again, it was a couple of quick laps and then back into the shade of the garage. Number 88 there is the Finnish pairing of Tero Manninen and Pekka Koismanen. They had a disastrous qualifying session, lots of electrical problems, leaving them down in 13th position on the grid. Tim and Tristan Reeves' teammates, Brian Pedder and Rod Stedman there, they were first-timers here at the Hungaroring and qualified in a superb 7th position. But the pole position went to Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead on the Castrol Suzuki in these extreme conditions. Well, while the weather was a little bit too much for some people, I spoke to Tim and Tristan Reeves. Tim and Tristan Reeves, coming to Hungaroring, leading the World Championship. Brands Hatch was a real special meeting for you there. Tell us about what happened there.
Yeah, it was good. We had, obviously it's our home circuit, and it was nice to have a go at Mr Webster on the circuit we really knew quite well. So yeah, it was good. It was nice to actually be on his pace rather than him being in control of it all the time and then dictate what happened in the race. It was nice to actually be able to take a fight to him and push him, really. And
Tris, the celebrations after the race at Brands, did they go on late into the night?
Oh yeah, we got back to my local and certainly had a few, yeah. That was good.
Now you come to Hungary, as I say, as championship leaders, and for that you've got a 10-kilo weight penalty on the machine this year. This is the first time the ballast, success ballast, has been brought into force. Has it made a difference to the handling of the bike round here?
To be honest, we bolted it straight on where we thought would be a good position, and then we just got on with it, and we didn't really think it was making much difference. But this morning, our teammates Brian and Rod, they tried some ballast in the same position we had, and obviously they've run all weekend without any, and they just did it to try it, and it made a difference. So for the race, we're going to move it and run it in a different position, which hopefully should make it better for the distance and for us, really.
All right, we'll see how it unfolds later on. Cheers, guys.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Brian Pedder, Rod Steadman. Brands Hatch was a bit of mixed fortune for you, really. Some good results, but some other interesting happenings going on. Talk us through what happened at Brands, really.
Oh, Brands was a roller coaster of a ride. It was good and bad. We won the first British round. It was really good, and we had a slight incident on the last lap when we was trying to take first possession. It was just a racing incident which left us slightly upside down.
Now, Rob, we saw the outfit do 1.5 double somersault and land on your head a bit, and yet there you guys were half an hour later back on the grid for the final World Championship race. I mean, what was going through your mind, Rod?
Just get some ice on my shoulder and get it cold, because that was aching a bit, and all the team pulled together and got the bike sorted. Luckily we had like the spare fairing ready for go, and a lot of hard work and good effort for the team got us back out there.
Yeah, and Brian, I mean, in that race, 4th position, I mean, come on, you must have expected just to finish would have been a bonus, yeah?
Yeah, you're right there, but I don't know, halfway through the race we forgot the packing and things were sore and feet were burning with stuff missing, and I just heard Dave Robertson get on with it. So we did.
Well, Andy Laidlow and Patrick Farrance made their World Championship debut at Brands Hatch and ended up 4th in the championship.
I was quite nervous about Brands. I actually wasn't even going to go because I thought there's a lot of people been there before and we've never been round there before, and qualifying didn't go that well. We're just sort of finding our feet on the circuit, and then hey presto in the race. I don't know what happened. We just flew in the race. We finished 4th in the match race final, and a 5th in the 5th. What a fantastic debut. It was really good.
Now, Patrick, your first time here in Hungary. It's a long circuit, a lot different to Brands. How do you approach the change with the weather and the longer races and stuff like that?
There's a big difference. I think the hardest part's going to be the weather. Obviously, a bit of an experience showed at Brands Hatch in the 30-lap race because we cooked his tyres a bit. We were struggling to the back end of the race. We performed us off the tyres and that. But here, I think the weather's going to be the main thing. That was the first long race that we've done, really long race. But this is the first one that we've done in the heat, like anything like this. So we'll see how it goes. It should be all right. Give some lights.
Well, we've had some questions from viewers new to sidecar racing about the technical aspects of these machines, so we're going to have a look beneath the skin of Dan Morrissey's LCR Suzuki. The sleek aerodynamic bodywork is made from carbon fibre and Kevlar to give it both strength and lightness. Remove the bodywork and underneath lies a sophisticated purpose-built racing machine. The wide slick tyres on all 3 wheels shroud the huge ventilated steel discs with powerful 4-piston calipers to help the stopping. The chassis itself is made from aircraft-grade aluminium sheet, which is folded to shape and then glued and riveted in position. The rocker arm suspension is hidden inboard the chassis, and the 1000cc production-based engine, in this case Suzuki GSXR, is mounted in a cradle hung from the side of the chassis and sits behind the driver's rear end. The very best engines are producing nearly 200 brake horsepower. That's staggering. The beautifully crafted exhaust system is made from lightweight titanium alloy and runs forward in the chassis underneath the driver's cockpit. driver kneels in the bodywork and steers the sidecar via handlebars with normal motorcycle controls. Throttle on the right-hand bar, clutch on the left-hand bar, and the all-important rev counter centrally. The handlebars are linked to the front wheel via a series of push rods and can be adjusted to give faster or slower steering response, depending on the driver's preference. However, unlike a normal motorcycle, there is no front brake lever. Instead, the braking for all three wheels is controlled by the driver's left foot. On the right-hand side is the gear change, which is operated by the driver's right foot. Normally it's backwards to go up through the 6-speed sequential gearbox and forwards to come back down the gearbox. Drive to the rear wheel is provided by a strong link chain and sprockets, which can be changed to alter the drive ratios depending on the circuit. In Hungary, the machines are geared for a top speed of about 170 miles an hour. And this is the passengers area, a carbon fibre honeycomb platform about a ½ metre wide by a ½ metre deep. The passenger has 2 chassis-mounted handholds and generally never lets go of this central post in the middle. Other handholds are located on the main bodywork. Directly in front of where the passenger sits are the cooling radiators for the water and oil, and this can get very, very hot for the passenger in these excessive conditions. So there you have it, a sneak view under the skin of a World Championship sidecar. Well, we've let Dan Morrissey and Rob Biggs put their machine back together now, and it's time to get ready for 19 hot laps of the Hungaroring circuit.
Steve Webster, then the current world champion, leads them down onto the grid. Of course, he is first in the qualifying position. He's on pole. His passenger, Paul Woodhead, there. It's a hot day here in Hungary at the Hungaroring. Third on the grid is the German, Jörg Steinhausen. His passenger there, the Brit, Trevor Hopkinson. Tim and Tristan Reeves, second on the grid. They'll be hoping to get a good start here. Well, Ian's down on the grid talking to Aldolf Hanny.
Dolph, very hot day today.
Yes, very hot for old man.
New father also.
Yeah.
Do you wish you were at home with your baby now instead of on the grid in this heat?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Thank you.
Serious, 4th position was very good for qualifying, but how do you think for the race?
Yeah, I think the same position, then I like it. The training is perfect and maybe the race, hope so.
Okay, good luck, Dolph.
Thank you very much.
Well, congratulations to the new father. Well, father and son pairing there, Martin and Tony Van Gils, the Dutchman, and called a quick word with them.
Martin, very bad conditions in the heat here today. Do you think your motocross experience will help you?
I think so. Yeah, our condition is okay, and yeah, if I think back in the motocross, we have never problem with the temperature. So I think maybe we have been lucky.
So you think it's possible to get on the podium today?
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not so sure how much his motocross experience will help him here today, but there's Steve Webster. What did he think about the outcome of the race, and was the heat going to affect him?
I think really, yeah, there's no way you could lap 19 laps at a race pace. So even the rest of the guys, they can't do it. And so what we'll try to do is just try to make it so that we can slowly start to build up and hopefully get enough, enough of a lead or whatever to do it. But let's wait and see.
All right, good luck, Steve.
Well, in fact, it is very, very hot here today, and the temperature, well, as you can see, 33 degrees centigrade. Track temperature must be over 50 degrees. Ian's joined me back in the commentary box. Well, Ian, it is a hot day.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for this 19 laps around the Hungaroring. As you say, track temperature 50 degrees, all the heat coming off of the engines, and they're underway.
Who do you think will suffer most of the heat, the driver or the passenger?
Well, I think the passenger's going to suffer more. As I said earlier on, the radiator's directly in front of them, pushing all that hot air, and as they come into turn one, it's Tim and Tristan Reeves that have got the whole shot. And it looked like Jörg Steinhausen trying to get up the inside of Steve Webster into that first turn. I don't think he made it.
series leaders after round one at Brands Hatch, where Steve Webster pulled out with a mechanical failure. I think it was an electrical problem. Bit of buffing and banging going on there at the back, but they're all safely through. But it's all, well, we've seen this before. It's the Reeves and Webster show once again. It's the question now, I think, Ian, who's going to survive the 19 laps?
Yeah, I think so. There's Jörg Steinhausen in third place. Mike Roscher, Adolf Harney got a reasonable start. They're in fifth at the moment, but as you say, Reeves and Webster, really the class of this field at the moment. They just seem to be able to turn it up a little bit more than the rest, and wouldn't surprise me to see them pull away on this opening lap. We're on board with Brian Pedder and Rod Stedman, and we remember seeing Brian and Rod upside down at Brands Hatch and coming back to finish fourth. Oh, Martin Van Gils on that yellow machine. Bit of a wide line through that left-hander, but not enough room for Mike Roscher to try and get past there. Very bumpy around this Hungaroring circuit. Formula One cars here really sort of ripple this track up. It's a bit like a washboard effect. The power of the Formula One cars and these hot conditions just make the tarmac slightly ripple, and people have been complaining about suspension, trying all different things. Roscher there getting a bit sideways through that right-hander, and so Pedder and Stedman in about sixth position at the moment. That's a good start from them.
Yeah, as you say, it's nice to see him out on the track after that upside-down incident at Brands Hatch at round one with the newly painted ferret on. But it is their teammates, Tim and Tristan Reeve, that lead them through. Then it's Steve Webster, the current world champion, in second place. A great scrap on there between Pedder, and I think that was Morrissey alongside him.
Yeah, Dan Morrissey and Rob Biggs trying to get down the inside going into turn one, and Martin Van Gils up the inside of Jörg Steinhausen. Looks like Dan Morrissey made it there, but oh, he just got it slightly wrong, went in a little bit hot there, just got it sideways. Lucky not to spin that outfit round, but that will cost him a lot of time. Well, that scrap between Van Gils and Steinhausen still going on.
Well, Van Gils there had it all locked up going into that left hand. Let's have a look off the start again.
Yeah, it's a real fine line between getting these machines cleanly off the line and getting a bad start. Pedder and Stedman seem to get a fairly good start there. They're chasing down Martin and Tony Van Gils into that first turn. Well, no way through there at the moment, and we've got somebody around the outside of us as well. Can't quite see who that is. But, well, Pedder and Stedman in fifth position round that turn one, going into turn two. This tight left-hander, very difficult on the brakes. Oh, and that's Mike Roscher and Adolf Harney just slipping up the inside of Brian Pedder there. So they made that passing manoeuvre stick, dropping Pedder down, going into turn.